Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a good-looking puzzle here. It's an interesting puzzle in terms of what our rule sets are that I very briefly looked through, and it might be a little bit confusing, but we'll see if we can get it figured out. Uh, this one is called Whose Lie Is It Anyway? I used to always love the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? If you'd ever seen that, it's a good one to look at, like improv comedy. Anyway, this is by Scojo. And let's just jump into our rules and see what's going on and see if we can figure out what is happening. Because when I clicked on this puzzle, it has not been solved very many times, but it's only marked as like a 2-star puzzle, so it's not necessarily supposed to be very difficult. So I don't know where the disconnect is there. So let's jump into it and see if we can figure something out. So we've got normal Sudoku apply. So every row, every column, thank you mouse, and every region are going to have the digits 1 through 9 once each. Now, some clues in this puzzle are liars. Makes sense from the title. For any value n, either all killer cages with the clue of n are lying, while all skyscrapers with the clue of n are true, or all killer cages with the clue of n are true, while all skyscrapers with the clue of n are lying. So, what does that mean? Well, let's say that this skyscraper clue has a 5, so that's the value of n. Let's say it was lying. We don't know that, but let's just use that as an example. It would then mean that every... Now, there's only 2 of them here, but every killer cage clue would have to be telling the truth. So these would be correct clues. And then this 5 here would also be a liar. So all of the skyscrapers would be liars of 5s if one of them was, and all of the killer cages would be truthful if that was. The other way is if this 5 is correct as a skyscraper, this 5 as a skyscraper would also be correct, and these killer cages would be lying to us. Okay, and that goes for any of these other values and how they correspond to the other cages within the puzzle. So there's that. That's something that might require some serious thought to figure out. Then we've got killer cages. So a true killer cage may not contain any repeated digits and must sum to the clue in the top left corner. So that would be normal killer cage clues. So this guy would equal to 9, and we can't repeat digits. A lying killer cage may contain repeated digits or not sum to the clue, or both. So if this was a lying 9, it could either have multiple repeated digits, or it could not add up to 9, or it could have multiple repeated digits and not add up to 9. Skyscrapers are probably going to be the exact same thing. A digit X represents a building of height X. Taller buildings hide shorter buildings. That's your normal skyscraper rules. So if this 5 was correct, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 9. You'd be able to see every single one of those buildings because this is a 9 tall building, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You'd be able to see them all. And then anything behind the 9 would be obstructed and not seen. But we have to go back into true or false here. So a true skyscraper clue outside the grid indicates the correct number of buildings that could be seen from that position, looking into the grid from there. And a lying skyscraper must not. So if this was a lying skyscraper, we could either see more than 5 or less than 5 or something along those lines, and that would make it a liar. So those are the rules. Like I said, this one might be a little bit confusing or hard to get into by the number of people who have actually solved it, or it just might be a little bit tricky. But again, it didn't seem like it had a very hard difficulty level associated with it. So we're going to find out. You may not see this on YouTube. If you do, I somehow managed to work it out. So links in the description below. Let's give it a try. Now, where the heck are we going to start? My first thought would be to look to see if we can find any killer cage that can't be true, or any combination of killer cages that can't be true. Because if we can determine if something is lying, that'll tell us other things that are telling the truth, and then we can use that truth to figure out what's what. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, the first thing that I notice is these two regions have quite a bit of killer cages in them. So, what does that actually mean? Well, if these were both true, these guys would have to add up to 16, which means we would have another 29 that these three digits must add up to, and that is not possible, because as we all know, 1 through 9 added up equals 45, so 45 minus 16 gets you to 29. So we know that at least one of these is a liar. Does that mean anything? I don't quite know. I don't think we can say so, or determine which one would be the liar, or they could technically both be liars. That's possible. Is there, again, any combination of cages where if we were to determine they are telling the truth, like this 5 cage as it looks into the 6 cage, if this is a true 1, 4, 5 cage, we've just broken this 6 cage, which means the 6 cage would be a liar. The problem is, it doesn't necessarily have to be a 1, 4. It could be a 2, 3 as a truthful 5, and this could be a truthful 6 at a 1, 5. So, what about this 5? Is it possible for it to be true? I don't necessarily know how we could determine that. Because we could say this 5 is true. Therefore, this would be a 5. What that would do is it would tell us that the 5 skyscrapers are liars. It would also tell us... Does it tell us? No, it wouldn't. I was thinking it might tell us the 8s are liars as well, but these could be 7, 1, and 6, 2. So that doesn't seem to give us much. What about the 4? If it's truthful, it must be a 1, 3, which would then force the 6, if it's truthful, to be a 2, 4. If that was the case, that would break the puzzle, because we can't make both of the 6 cages be true in this specific instance. Because if they were true, again, this one couldn't be a 1, 5 anymore. It would have to be a 2, 4, but you can never put a 2, 4 here. So this specific instance does not work. Now, the problem with that is that if that only states that if this is true, these must both be liars. The problem is, if this is a liar, we don't know if these are true or liars. We also know that if this is true for, the 8 must be a liar. Because the 4 would have to be a... Wait, no, it doesn't. I got that wrong. That's not true. The 8 could be true because it could be 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we hide the 2 somewhere or something like that. Okay. That seems like we're getting close to something. Is there any way to prove that the 4 is true? To do that, we would have to possibly disprove the 4 skyscraper. How would we do that? Don't know. Okay, let's think back maybe to this. This is the only, again, these are the only things that we know. One of these is a liar. Could this be true? If it is, that obviously puts this guy into liar territory. But what do we do with that? Is it possible the 6 and the 7 skyscraper clues can tell us that one of these is a liar? There would have to be, right? Is there any way that the 6 and the 7 could both be valid skyscraper clues? I mean, obviously this isn't going to do anything, but if this 7 is truthful, the closest the 9 could ever go would be here. If the 6 is truthful, the closest the 9 could ever go would be here, but that would, either one of those would break the other. So yes, the 6 and the 7, at least one of them is a lie on the skyscraper side. But again, they both could be liars. If this 9 was true, it would do this. I'm just having to look down each avenue here of try to find the one place we can actually look. And it would then mean that all of the 9 clues are liars. Which works perfectly fine, because we know either the 7 or the 9 is a liar already. So if we know the 9 is a liar, that would be nice. But again, that doesn't really give us any traction. Okay, so I see why this has not been solved very many times. Do not know how to get into this thing. What if the 9s... Okay, let's start thinking about that, maybe. What if the 9 killer cages are all true? Does that do anything? It means this is a 9. This is some portion of 9. Let's say it's 8 as the maximum. That gets us up to 17. Then we have our 28 left over, which means the 7 obviously has to be a lie. But we can get to 28 in 4 digits. Nine, 8, 6, and 5, I believe, would do that. And if that was the case, it would force the 5 skyscraper to be a lie, I think, because we're having to put pretty big digits into these 3. No, that wouldn't. Yeah, I think that would force the 5 skyscraper to be a lie, which would force the 5 killer cage to be true. Which would do what? It would put a 5 here. It would put either a 1, 4, or a 2, 3 here. Those are the only 5 cages. Oh, there's 2 5 cages. There's one here too. But again, I don't think we can take that any further from that point. The 9 was true. Well, that wouldn't be able to do it. I'm just running through a quick option here to see if it's even feasible. I'm sure there's other ways to look at this, but here would be at 15. We'd have to get another 30 out of these, which we clearly could do with 9876. So that would absolutely work. The 7 would be a lie, as we would know anyway. The 7 killer cage would be the lie. But then the skyscraper would have to be correct. And that can't be possible, because these would have to be high digits. Even if it was the lowest you could be was a 6. That obviously doesn't get us up there. So is that what it is? That the 9 can't be, the 9 cages can't be true? Because if they are, it forces high digits into these, and it forces the 7 to be, the 7 killer cage to be a lie. But then it also forces the 7 skyscraper to be a lie. That has to be it. I can't see any way that this works, where you can make these 9s be correct and then not have to put large values into here. Because again, even we said mathematically, we would have to get up to like, what, 28? And I think the lowest we could ever really get down to would be, what, 5 here? That just wouldn't be anywhere near enough. Okay, so the 9s are not true. The 9 cages are not true, which means the 9 skyscraper would have to be true. So let's mark these as red for fake. A bunch of big ol' liars. So they're all lying. Now, if that's the case, the 7 skyscraper with this 7 here must also be a liar. So the 7 cage are truthful. And there's only one way to make 7 cages. 1, 2, and 4. Okay. The four skyscrapers are liars. They're dirty, dirty liars. Because if we have this being a 1, 2, and 3, there has to be a 9 in one of these, which means that we can never get to a 4 skyscraper. 4 skyscrapers are liars. Liar, liar, pants on fire, shame on you, number 4. So the cages are correct, which means this is a 1, 3. Now, didn't we just say that if this is a 1, 3, the 6 cages must be lying? Because there's no way, there's no way we can make these cages work. You big fat liars, you're liars. Which means the 6s on the skyscrapers must be telling the truth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's not much wiggle room here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's not much wiggle room here. If this was a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That does work. Sugar. Okay. What else can we do here? I thought we were moving. I'm stuck again. Okay, so we know 7 cages are true. 7, the 8. The 8 skyscraper now has to be a liar. Because the only way we could have made this work is if this was a 1, 3. No, maybe that's not right. It could be 2 hidden here, then 4 and 5. But then it would have to be 6, 7, 8, 9. Otherwise, we have 1, 3, 4, 2. Yeah, there always has to. So the 8 is a liar in the skyscraper genre, if you will. We also know that this is a 1, 2, 4, which means this is 3 and 1, which instantly blows the 8 out of the water, which we should have just done that first. But it's the same point. We can't ever make the 8 work there, so these have to be correct. This is not 1, this is not 2, by the way. So, now we can look at our 8 cages, at least over here, because we know we can't use a 1, so we can't have 7 1s, we have 6 2 or 5 3. 2, 3, 5, 6 forces a 4, 1, 2. This can't be 2, so this can't be 6. Can we look at what these can be? It's probably not super useful. They are 7, 8s, and 9s, but nothing's looking at them yet, and I don't want to start cluttering things up too quickly. Okay. Now, I don't think we can do anything with these 8 clues just yet. We do know they're true. 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. We don't. That doesn't really take us anywhere yet. What I'm trying to get to is this 5. If we can make the 5 break, then it'll tell us. Or we can go the other way, maybe. But I think the 5s here, there's plenty of room to make them work. Yeah. Yeah. So the 4s are liars, so we don't need to worry about them at all. We've dealt with our 9s, so everything retified, we don't worry about the cage. Now, we will probably have to use it as a negative constraint at some point. We know, okay, this 6 must be, let's think about these 6s again, because we know the 6 skyscrapers are telling the truth. They're good boys. I think we had already started, but maybe now that we have this 1, 2, 4 here, that might throw a socket in the wrench, possibly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is clearly still possible. These digits, though, let's put these in, and I know this is going to look crazy, but I'm going to do it for now. One of these two, whether it's these 2 or this 2, has to be in. These can't be 3s, by the way. Maybe that's the better way. Just get rid of those and look at these guys. We have at least 2 given here. And it's going to hide this guy. Now, if we know the 6 is true, these guys can't be 9s or 8s. And there probably can't be a 7 on it either. So let's say there is 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, there cannot be a 7 on it. So I think this has to be a 5, 6 in this order. So we have 2, 5, 6. That's 3. 7, 8, 9 would get the remainder to get us to 6. So these are a 5, 6 pair. And that forces this to be a 3, which means this is a 5. These are not 3, 5, so they are a 2, 6 pair, and this is 6, and this is 2. Okay, we're doing something here. It took a little while to get into it, but we're moving at least. Hopefully we can continue this process. Now, we don't care what this cage is. Can we do anything on this 6? Or do we have any further area we can look with the 6s? Because again, we know we have 2, 5, and 6. This guy's hidden. We have to get the 7, 8, and the 9 in order. It could go in, well, we would know that the 7 clearly can't go here, and it can't go here. Because if it does, we're breaking this, so this has to be 7. Then we have to have the 8, 9 pair work in such a way, and they can't both be in here. So this is 8 and 9. Now, these are given as... No, wait, that's broken something. What did I do? Oh yeah, that does have to be. In this situation that I've created, I think that had to be correct. Because we have to have 7s, 8s, and 9s all be visible. So we have 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But they can't push down because we have 7, 8, 9 here. So if we ever have 2 7s, 8s, or 9s out here, we're broken. Oh, That's what it is. These are 7s and 8s. The 9 could go anywhere, and it clearly can't go here because it would have broken this. Now we've got it. Okay, I'm just being slow. Surprise, surprise. So these have to be from 1, 4, and 9, and the 1, 2, 4 makes the 9 go here. And therefore these are not 9s, and this is 9. Therefore these are a 7, 8 pair. Now we know what these are. Well, we know the digits they are. We don't know what goes where. It's a 4 and a 9, and these have to be from 3, 5, and 6. This is not 3. Okay, the 1 here says 4 and 1, by the way. Good. Good. Okay. Now, we might be able to start thinking about either this 5 skyscraper to determine if this guy is true or false, or this 6, as we similarly did over here. But there's less information over here, so the 6 might not be as useful. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. So, one of these is a 4. I'm going to put some digits in here and see if anything comes together. Well, this 5 cannot be a 2, 3 pair if it is correct. So that would be very helpful, because we can't, the 2 and the 3 both see this. So if we were to rule out these guys being truthful, then we would know what goes in this 5. It would have to be a 4, 1 pair. It would have to be in this position. So let's see if we can work that out. Do we have enough information to do it? 5. It seems like we could easily make both of these 5s work at this point. One of these is a 2, by the way. Okay. Yeah, I don't see how the 5 is going to tell us. Let's think about, maybe think about the 8 again, and think about if this is correct. These would have to be 7, 1, and 6, 2. Does that break anything? Because this wouldn't be 1 or 2. This couldn't be 6 or 7. I'm just gonna do this for a second here to see if this gets us anywhere. It doesn't appear to. So I'm gonna pull back on that. Don't want to go too far into those sorts of situations. But the 5, we have a 9 out here. 1, 2, 3. Well, we can only get 3 of these, but we can have either one of these work and then the 9, which gets us to 5. Or this could just be a 4. Well, no, it couldn't be. If the 5 worked or was truthful in its skyscraperness, this couldn't be a 4, because it would only allow 4 digits to be seen. But that doesn't exclude the 4 from being one of these 2, and we have 2 digits here, plus these all work together. Okay, so 7's a liar, 7's a liar, we don't care what it does. 8 is a liar. 4s are liars. 9 is a truther. This is all, of course, in skyscraper world. Okay, let's look back at this 6 then. Let's see if now something here has caused this 6 to fall apart. Again, we can only have 2 digits on the flip side of this 7. The 8 and the 9 could be in this sort of position. So that's 3 digits. We need 3 more out of these 4 to be able to work. 3, 4, 5 easily works. So I don't think we can determine that 6 just yet either. So is there any other Sudoku maybe that's going to start poking its head into here? We never did look at this 5 clue. We know if the 5 is true, it's a 4-1. That would rule out this being a 4-1, so it would be a 2-3. That doesn't do anything for us, because both of those would work. There's got to be a way to figure out this 5 that I'm not working it out right at the moment. So let's see. Let's go back to thinking of Sudoku real quick. See if there's anything on this that we can use to try to push forward whatever we've got here. It's not looking great to start. That's for sure. One of these is a 5. Oop, wrong mode there. One of these is a 6. One of these is a 7. One of these is an 8. And then we're down to our 9s, which don't really give us much. Okay. So, where is the look? This 8 is true, but that does not rule out the 6 or the 5, because this could be a 6-2 and a 5-3. There's nothing stating otherwise that it cannot be. What are these digits? They are from 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is not 6. That's almost worthless. Okay, so this 5, man, we've got to get this thing figured out. Even if this was an 8, it does not rule out the 5 possibly being correct. So how are we working this thing out? The other thing, again, would be just to look at the negative constraints. So if this is a 1 and a 4, all that means is this could never be a 4. We already know that. So that doesn't help us any. This is already incorrect. These are all incorrect already. Come on, where are you? How do we figure out the 5? That's got to be our in. How do we rule out one of them not being correct? Again, if this was a 5, we're just looking at these being 7 1s and 6 2s, which is perfectly doable. And if it's a 5, we don't have to worry about making this work because it would be a liar. Okay, this is now into stump mode. Because I just can't quite see where we're going to have an issue with these fives. And again, I looked at the 6 before and I can't think of any way to make this thing break. I mean, we know the 6 is accurate. This guy here. We already used that to figure this out. But again, because we have a 7 here, does that tell us the 8 and the 9 have to go here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't. Well, if the 8 and the 9 didn't go here, let's look at it from that angle. Let's say this was an 8. That would break. 9 would do as well. Okay, that's what it is. You can't put the 8 or the 9 in any of these positions, obviously, because it would break our 6, which must be lively. Therefore, we can't put 8, 9 here. We have to put them here. Now, the question is, do they have to be in this specific order? They do not, because these could be whatever digits that go up to 7, they could all be visible, and then this could be a 9, and this could be an 8. What are these digits? 3, 5, 6, and 7. Again, just about worthless. Because this 3 could go with the 5 could go with the 3, 6 could go with the 2, 7 could go with the 1. That doesn't reduce our options at all. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope. I'm hoping to try to find anything that just gives us a little in here. But it is really a struggle. Let's go back and think about each clue again. We've used you, we've used all of you, we've used all of you. The 5s and these 5 cages and this 6 are the only remaining outstanding clues. Do we have to think about this thing maybe as like it's a thermo almost? It's hard to see how that would work, but let's think about it a little bit further. What can this be? It could be a 3. Could it ever be a 5? 5, 6, 7. That's only 3, so that does not work. So this can't be a 5. It just has to be a 3. Okay. Okay, that's fine. This guy now. Well, it doesn't have to be higher than 3, is the thing. Because we could go low and have 3, 5, 6, 7, and then an 8, 9. Does this 3 do anything for us? It essentially means that this can't be of the... Well, this can't be a 3 is all it means. We know this can't be a 5 anyway, so that didn't do us any good, really. What else do we have now in one of these is a 3? Let's just, I guess we have to go down these and see what can and can't work. Now, it could be 1, could be 2. Obviously can't be 3. It could be 4. Can't be 5. I don't think it could be 6, because again, we're looking at 3, 6, 7, and then 8, 9. So no, so it's 1, 2, or 4. 1, 2, can't be 3. Could it be a 4? 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, it can. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It could be a 5. It can't go up to a 6. Because again, well, because of this here, and it obviously can't be 7, 8, or 9. So I guess we just have to keep going down this line and see what comes out of it. This seems like it's quite the grasp. 1, 2, can't be 3. Could it ever be a 4? Because at the end of the day, this might turn us into a triple or a quad where we can put another digit and it might set things off again. And I see the time is creeping on us here, as I feared it might. Can't be 5. It could technically be 6. Can't be 7, 8, or 9. So we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So no, this is gonna... Oh, it's just basically where does a 6 go? Now that we've put these in, and this one's here, this is a 6. Okay. So we're at 3, 6, and 7 now. I'll continue this because we already started it. So 1, 2, 4, 5 are the options. And this one is always hidden. We knew that. So we can see 3 of them right now, plus at least one of these. And then 1 or 2 of these could be seen as well. Okay. That's a lot of work to get this 6 there, but does it do anything further for us? Does it break down these 8s any further? It doesn't really feel like it does. So this is 3. This could be 5. If it's 5, it could be 3. If it's 6, it could be 2. And if it's 7, it could be 1. These are all possible options. I'm getting to the point now where it's just put in everything we can and see if anything starts to break. This can't be 6. This can't be the 2 then. Okay. This is very close to being done on the 8 here. Very close. Trying to see if there's anything else out here that we can then, like what, where does the 8 go in this column? It has to go in one of these 2. Anything else of use there? Ones are multiples, 2s are multiples, 3s are. The 4 is close to being reduced. 4 could go here is the problem. What can... I keep saying what can this be, and it's not the greatest of things here. It could be 5, 6, 7, or 8. What can this be? 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8. This is getting ridiculous. So again, I'm just missing it. There's probably something on this 5 that I'm just missing that's stupid obvious. The only way now that we have this 3, and saying that this is one of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the only way this 5 could be true is if this is a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The problem with that is that this is also true in that instant. Now, therefore, this actually is a 5, because if it's not a 5, we can't make this work. So this is 5. The 5s are accurate. This is a 7, 1. This is not a 1, 7. It's also not a 3, 5. So it is a 2, 6. This is a 4. Here we go. That was all it took. Again, putting the digits in just to be able to see them. Thank you for hanging out and watching. I really appreciate that. This is an 8. Okay, man, this is a tough one. I do see why this has not very many solves. And let's see if we can just bump this out now. Okay, so we know the 5s are all valid. The killer cages are. This guy is not. Therefore, what did we say about this guy? It cannot be a 2, 3, so it must be a 4, 1 in this orientation. This now must be a 2, 3, so this is 2 and 3. This can't be 3, so this is 3, and we are going now, and I think this is going to get us where we need to go. Just took a brutal amount of time to work out how the 5 could work and how it couldn't work. You're not a 2 anymore. Now, we probably want to get away from some of these massive markings that I did. But let's see how it... Let's go to base Sudoku because we have a lot of info now. This is a 1. What else do we have? This is not one of these two is. We can't finalize the 1, 2 here just yet, so let's move on to 2s. One of these is a 2. This is a 2, 8 pair, which is actually going to tell us that this is a 7, 9 pair. Nothing quite determining those yet. Let's keep on this. That 2 means this is not a 2, which means this is, which means we get the 8, 2. This is either a 4 or a 9. That 4 says this is not a 4, obviously. And again, this is a 3, which means this is a 5. This is a 4. This can't be a 5 anymore. So one of these two is a 4. They don't correlate just yet, but we're close to getting this thing done. And looking around. Let's go back to Sudoku. It's been working so far, so let's see what else it does. One of these must be a 4. This is a 5. This is a 7. That's an 8 and a 7, and a 5 and a 7. Good. That gives us a 6, 5, 3. This is what? It is not 5, 7, or 8, so it is 6. This is an 8 or a 9. These have to be from 5, 8, and 9. So this is 5. This is the 8 or 9. Good. It's finally getting here. 7, 9 pair here means this is 4 and 9. And let's try to get ourselves situated here in one of these columns. This guy here. Now, I haven't seen a negative constraint come up yet, but we might have to use that at the very end we can't get something else figured out. What is this? Stop babbling and finish the darn puzzle. You are from 7, 8, or 9? It can't be 9. These 3 digits must be from 1, 4, and 9. These can't be 9, so this is. Therefore, this is 1, this is 4, this is 2, this is 6, this is 4, this is dooby-dooby-doo 6. These are a 7, 8 pair. I think we might get a negative constraint somewhere. Or it's going to be one of these other ones that I've missed. The 1 here gives us the 2 and the 1. Okay. 7, 9. We have a pattern here that I can't resolve. It doesn't look like, because they are from 7s, 8s, and 9s. Let me just make sure there's nothing sitting here staring at me, because that is very possible. Doesn't appear to be. Okay, so we have to figure out a negative constraint. But none of these cages seem to have that constraint. Let's think. Oh, this 6 clue is going to be what it is, isn't it? Because we thought so much about this being an 8, 9 and whether or not it could work. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to have 2 more. This is 8 and 9, so that negative constraint did come in. Good. 9, 8, and this is going to finish everything. Thank goodness. This is 8, and this is 7, and there we got it. You solved the puzzle. Solution's correct. Oh, well, that took quite a long time to dig through here, and as you can see, that has only 52 solves in the last 2 weeks. Now, we can get hundreds of solves in some puzzles in that amount of time, and this was, again, only labeled as, where was it? Whose line is as a 2-star. So, I mean, it wasn't labeled as hard. It just really had to dig into it and get it going and try to figure out how the groupings work and how you can work out the what can and can't be a liar. But there was a lot of liars on this one, as you can see from the screen here. But anyway, thanks for sticking around. If you have stuck around to see the end of this thing, that again took quite a while, almost an hour. I think it was, what, it says 57 minutes, that's plus, what, 4-ish minutes I was talking, so it's over 50 minutes to solve that 2-star puzzle that only 56 other people have solved at this point. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to stop rambling because you're probably tired of me at this point. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.